Humphreys Associates, H&A, has the opportunity to work with a broad spectrum of clients who operate their Earned Value Management System, EVMS, under the contractual authority of a variety of customers. Many clients have a surveillance program conducted by the Defense Contract Management Agency, DCMA, the Department of Defense, DoD, executive agent for EVMS, which also has a reciprocal agreement with other agencies. Some agencies, such as the Department of Energy, DOE, have their own surveillance programs. In the course of conducting and supporting client reviews, H&A has identified several recurring themes that many organizations allow into their EVMS, and because we often support the resolution of these issues through the corrective action planning process, we can also recommend the most common remedies to prevent or correct them. The anticipated topics for Parts 1 through 5, subject to change, are Part 1, EAC alignment issues, poor variance analysis, and lack of subcontract management. Part 2, poor use of percent complete, data integrity issues, poor scope language. Part 3, IMS health problems, data item non-compliance, planning package misuse. Part 4, misalignment between BCWP and ACWP, freeze period violations, failed data traces. Part 5, inappropriate use of PERT and LOE, misuse of management reserve, administrative CAMs. The Earned Value Management System Guidelines, EVMSG, define the EAC as the sum of the contract's cumulative to date actual cost of work performed, ACWP, plus the company's project manager's best estimate of the time-phased resources, funds, required to complete the remaining authorized work, the estimate to complete, ETC. One of the measures that is used to provide a sanity check of the reasonableness of the EAC is to compare the Two Complete Performance Index, TCPI, to the Cost Performance Index, CPI. Industry guidance indicates a mathematical difference of 0.10 or greater is used as an early warning indication that the contractor's forecasted completion cost could possibly be unrealistic, stale, or not updated recently. This is generally measured at all levels of the project, but is often the focus at the control account level. Having a difference greater than 0.10 does not mean the EAC must be adjusted. Often, the TCPI formula will give unusually high or low values when the account being measured is at the beginning or end of its progress. There may be a very good reason for the forecasted efficiency of an estimate to complete, ETC, to be out of line with its historical efficiency. But often, surveillance reveals a large number of accounts that are out of line by this measurement, indicating a lack of discipline in an organization's EAC process. The first action should be to ensure that the Earned Value Management System stipulates an update to the ETC on at least a monthly basis, and the Control Account Managers, CAMs, are held accountable for their EAC's realism. This is often accomplished through training, updating processes, and the development of easy-to-use tool sets. The organization could also require the CAM to justify any control account's ETC that is out of tolerance with the EAC realism check. This is probably the most common corrective action cited by reviewers performing EVMS surveillance. Because the variance analysis relies completely on the discipline of the CAMs and their support staffs, the process often atrophies for various reasons. Within the Variance Analysis Report, VAR, process, probably the most troublesome is the identification and tracking of corrective actions to their logical completion. A well-written variance analysis will explain the root cause, impact, and corrective action associated with a cost, current period, cumulative, at completion, or a schedule, current period, cumulative, variance. Cost-effective explanations should provide a breakdown of the rate versus hours for labor or the price versus usage for material. Schedule variance explanations should focus on identifying the effort that is not being accomplished per the plan and forecast the estimated completion date, ECD, for when the schedule variance will go to zero. Most important in all of this process is the identification and tracking of the corrective actions that need to be taken to either mitigate the variance or at least ensure that the variance does not worsen. Poor variance analysis is primarily a discipline issue with the CAMs and their support staffs. Like most discipline issues, this can be addressed by training, adding structure, and incorporating reviews of the VAR process. The writing of VARs is one area where annual refresher training may be needed in order to verify that the concepts are still being practiced. This training should involve the managers in the organizational chain above the CAMs who are responsible for reviewing and approving the variance analysis reports. The DoD instruction for 5000.02, Operation of the Defense Acquisition System, reiterates the requirements for earned value application on all cost incentive contracts greater than $20 million, including subcontracts. In the DCMA Instruction 1201, Corrective Action Process, September 23, 2013, the importance of subcontract management is stressed with the following. Prime contractors have wide latitude as to how they control their supply chain and are ultimately responsible for flow-down and execution of contract requirements. When DCMA discovers a non-compliance requiring a Level 1 or 2 CAR at a subcontract level, the appropriate CAR, Level 1 or 2, shall be issued directly to the subcontractor with notification to the prime contractor via the prime CMO. The notification to the prime contractor shall be redacted as needed to prevent disclosure of subcontractor proprietary information. In situations where a non-compliances at the subcontract level meets the criteria for a Level 3 CAR, the CAR shall be issued to the prime contractor. Over the past few years, the lack of effective and consistent management of subcontractors with an EVM flow-down requirement has been the source of numerous discrepancy reports, DRs, and has been cited as a significant contributor to EVMS disapprovals, devalidations. As noted in the language above, prime contractors are not only responsible for including the correct clauses in subcontracts, but also have responsibility for the execution of the contract requirements. When a subcontractor does not follow its own system description, is not in compliance with the EIA 748 guidelines, or submits reports that do not meet the requirements of the Contractual Data Item Description, DID, it is the responsibility of the prime to enforce compliance. The first step in corrective action is a thorough understanding of the contractual requirements and language in the subcontracts. The contract should include a requirement for compliance with the EVM system guidelines in EIA-748, preferably by including the appropriate DFARS clauses, DFARS 252.234-7001 and 7002. The appropriate DID, currently DI-MGMT-A1861, referenced in the Contract Data Requirements List, CDRL, with any special tailoring or reporting guidance documented for contracts issued prior to June 2012. The Contract Performance Report, DID, is DI-MGMT-81466A, and the IMS DID is DI-MGMT-81650. Language which establishes the right of the prime contractor to conduct reviews, such as integrating baseline reviews, IBRs, and recurring system surveillance. Finally, the prime must review all reports delivered by the subcontractor for compliance with the appropriate DID and be prepared to take action when the submitted reports are non-compliant with the CDRL and/or DID instructions. The action can take the form of a subcontract administrator's letter requiring adjustments in future reports, rejection and resubmittal of non-compliant reports, or rejection and contractual remedies, such as payment withholds or award fee impact as applicable.